So the story goes that I found myself working on several jobs at the same time. I would wake up tired every morning, drag myself out of bed, jump on my computer, and stay on it all day long, sometimes till midnight. Well, let's roll back a little. The story I'm about to tell you happened a few years ago when I started consulting for the state government after leaving my job at Booz Allen Hamilton as a director of technology services. If you have heard of Edward Snowden, you would know what Booz Allen Hamilton is about. It's one of the top consulting firms in the world in the federal sector. And I want to share this experience with you so you can look at working multiple jobs from both sides of the fence to see if it makes sense. Because let me tell you, I had no idea what I was getting into. So here is my story. When I was at Booz Allen, I was used to working long hours, tight deadlines, late nights, intense pressure, high stress, sense of urgency, dealing with the Army, the Navy, defense, and on and on. But at this place, I found that my work was quite dismal. I had no real deadlines, a laid-back culture, subpar performance, no accountability. I would only attend a few meetings a day. It was easy, facile. I had multiple PMs reporting to me and doing most of the work per my direction, while I was rubbing shoulders with the leadership, creating dashboards and weekly presentations. Since I had some extra time, which seemed easy to climb, I decided to buy another property in Old Town, Baltimore. It's a beautiful place, I tell you. Besides, why not? I had the time and I'm a real estate investor. Now for that, I need some extra cash. So I thought, why not? Maybe I should just work a side gig, make some money and pay it off myself. Sounds like a great idea in theory, but let me tell you, the reality was quite different. While I was deliberating all of this, I got a call from a recruiter. She said, AK, I have a great project for you. It's out of state, it's remote. What's the hourly rate? She said, you name the price, they love your resume. I decided to throw a ridiculous number to see if she would bite. And she did. She said, yes. Wow, I said, that's too easy. What's the catch? Let me tell you, I had no idea what I was about to give up from this offer in return. Listen, it was gonna cost me my days and nights of peace, my fun playtime with my dog, the time I spent with my fiance, the time I used to spend in the gym, or the time I enjoyed playing my guitar. Basically, anything that I found enjoyable would be compromised. To be or not to be was the question. Swayed by the financial incentives, I took the job. I met the VP, and the first thing she told me is this. She said, we have only 3 months to finish this project. We have a sense of urgency. We're short-staffed and we can't move the deadline. We have to retire all the servers by the end of the year. And if we don't, we have to shut the entire agency down. I was stunned. I felt like I was set up for failure. But the money was so good. Too good, in fact. So I decided to bite the bullet and go for a wild ride and run with the tide, even though I felt like they lied. Let me tell you, for the next 3 months, I worked day and night between these 2 jobs and my real estate project. No weekend, no lunchtime, no evenings were free. I was getting calls all day long. I was not just a team member, you see. I was the lead. I was the face of these projects. Missing one meeting would mean they could lose millions of dollars and the project might stall. So much stress and so much pressure. Plus, I had this fear that someone would find out that I'm burning candles on both ends. And somebody may tell on me. Well, it happened. One day I got a call from the prime vendor and she said, look, you haven't been responsive. I don't see you online much. What's going on? Are you working a different job? I felt like a deer in a headlight. I took a pause and said, yes, I give you 8 hours of my day every single day. What I do in my spare time is nobody's business. I'm a contractor. She said, AK, we have to get this project done. You're not just a team member, you're the face of the project. Please promise me you're going to take this live. You spend millions of dollars on this project. This needs to go live. I gave her my word. I said, don't worry, I will take care of it. She said, we can keep this between us. And should you need to run any errands between meetings, let me know so I can cover for you. I felt relieved. From then on, I did a fantastic job putting the project back on track. I worked late nights, I drove the team hard, I kept the client happy, I engaged the stakeholders, and I delivered. I got it done. And they loved it. They were feeding off my fingers. I was so proud of myself. Now I can go back to my normal life. I took the weekend off, rented a nice car, and had tons of fun. Good times, man. The following Monday, you won't believe what happened. She called again, the same recruiter. He said, AK, they loved your work so much that they want you back. The good news is, this time they want to pay you 20% more than before. But the bad news is, these projects also have crazy deadlines. I hung up the phone and I went to bed. Next morning I woke up. My real estate contractor calls me and says, AK, we have a problem. What is the problem? I said, we have no water. The water line is broke. We have to break the ground outside the house to bring the water pipeline in. We have to call the county and so on and so forth. All that meant we needed more money. I didn't have any more money. Oh no. I found myself in the same situation as before. If I could just make a little bit of extra cash, I could really pay off this property and get this project done. So I took the pill again. I accepted the offer, thinking of all the coins in the coffer. I worked tirelessly for the next 6 months. I met every deadline, delivered every single sprint, fired some non-performers, all the while working the other job and the real estate project full time. Those 9 months were nail-biting, they were hair-losing, they were the hardest events of my life. But I survived and I thrived. And I got accolades from top-level executives. So here are my takeaways from this story, folks. If you're a contractor on 1099, not W-2, 1099, you can work multiple jobs and multiple gigs at the same time. There's no law or stipulation that you can't work multiple jobs, unless there's a conflict of interest, which is very, very hard to prove. My lesson number 2, money is not always as important as we think it is. I made some money, but I lost the opportunity of building relationships, spending time with family, maybe growing as a person, maybe learning a new skill. What hurt the most is that I hurt my relationship with my dog. I had to find a new house for my dog, folks. I had to give Gooby away because it wasn't fair to him. I was working all day and he would just sit beside me and look at me and wanted to play, but I couldn't play with him. And that still hurts. Now, if I had to do this all over again, I would find another investor, maybe give us some profits, instead of trading time for dollars. But at the same time, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had accomplished something. I pushed myself to the limits and I succeeded. I did well. So my 2 cents to y'all is, don't be afraid of getting fired or someone finding out. You're not stealing from anybody. You're providing a service at a cost. So do what feels right. It will all work out.